Then Dr. Shaywitz, who basically told us exactly what's going on with dyslexia. We knew in 1896 from Morgan Pringle that these kids could not remember words visually, and it was something that started in youth. And we now found why with Shaywitz, that when they're sounding out words, this is Broca's area. Fill your temple, everybody. That's Broca's. And that's what sounds out words. When you're sounding out words, the auditory gyrus here, the top of its Wernicke's, has trouble listening to sounds or hearing individual sounds. So they're having trouble sounding out words and organizing the sounds. These two need to work together when you go at and you go fat, ip, tip. These need to work together and they stimulate below the ear the word form area, also called the fusiform gyrus. Now, the working of these two in kids without problems causes this to fire, and then about every time you read a word 3 to 4 times, it's logged and you don't have to sound it out anymore. So when you see it, it goes back to the back of the brain and then to the fusiform gyrus, and you know the words. Whereas our kids who have these auditory issues here, when they sound out words, it's not correct. They're not firing the fusiform gyri. Shaywitz measured these kids in high school and they still weren't firing the fusiform gyri. She lays down principles to fire it. My program has adopted those principles. So my goal is to stimulate the word form area through sounding out, and this is basically Broca's and Wernicke's, the comprehension. Sh, at, oh, not a word. Sh, oh, shut's a word, and then you start taking pictures. How you know that's firing is a child who's sounding out a word, camp, amp. Next time he sees a camp, amp. And then one day he's running the word stand, and next time he sees it, he says stand. Next time he sees it, he says stand. The word form area is firing. Everything changes when that occurs. By the way, that's the difference with the kid who makes a year's growth in 3 months, which is real low for us. We get 2 to 3 years growth in 3 months. Versus a kid who makes 4 or 5 years growth, which we have in 3 months, is the kid who makes that growth, their word form area is firing. And so they start logging words very quickly.